welcome Doreen.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today in the RISIS Remix, where we embark on a new journey, paying homage to nature and culture in new expressions of femininity, glamour, sophistication, and adventure. I am Vereen Ng, CEO of RISIS, and I joined the company in early 2020. Not exactly the best time with COVID sweeping across the globe, but it makes the perfect timing to kickstart my vision to reimagine a compelling Singapore brand in time for a new beginning when we emerge from the pandemic. Since our inception in 1976, the brand has grown by leaps and bounds as a premium gifting brand, not just with the Iconic Orchids Series, but also with other collections like our Chinese zodiac objects, Peranakan and jade jewelry collection, just to name a few. While RISIS has grown through the years and anchored our strong positioning as the national brand that overseas visitors love to collect, it is now time for the Singapore souvenir brand to become a world-renowned brand for jewelry and objects. To be appreciated for our inspired design, artisanal craftsmanship, and cutting-edge technology to immortalize and celebrating what is closest to us, which is our Singapore and Asian nature and culture. To bring forth this vision, we have teamed up with 4 local fashion heavyweights to create not just new jewelry designs, but to infuse in our collaboration new and fresh style perspective. Together with the unveiling of our revitalised Iconic Orchid Series, you will also experience our new Spring-Summer 2022 biannual collection, which is our Botanique collection, to celebrate our very own UNESCO site for nature. Our hope is that RISIS, a brand for gifting a piece of Singapore to the world, will now become a gift for every woman suitable for everyday style. Without further ado, I would like to invite you to be a part of our new future and join us to unveil the collection. Thank you.
I'm Eileen, the founder and designer of female fashion brand Stolen. When I first heard about the opportunity to collaborate with RISIS, I was very excited, really. Fun fact, I'm actually the same birth year as RISIS, like 1976. So I remember I was quite young, but the memory was very vivid. I was completely mind blown when I realized that it was actually real flowers that they played with gold and made into accessories. Now that I have my own business and that I get a chance to work with such an established brand, one that I admire growing up, it's pretty special to me, really. Well, essentially, I design pieces that I would really love to have personally but couldn't find in the market. So, for example, my fashion brand has this signature backless feature. So I really wanted a necklace that can be worn at the back to accentuate that feature. I adore brooches. I personally keep many vintage brooches, but I seldom wear any of them. Mainly because I hate how the back piercing would damage the garment. And the earring is a fun piece. I love things that's very flexible, that allows us to kind of wear it in different ways that we want. I mean, women are fickle. We can change our dressing within the day, from day to day, so I think all our accessories should be able to match up to that.
Hello everyone, a good Thursday to everyone. Thank you very much for making time for this. I'm Eileen, I'm the designer and founder of Stolen. So Stolen will be the first of 4 designers tonight to present to you this very meaningful collaboration with RISIS. Thank you very much, RISIS. So the first theme that we're going to explore tonight is the new feminine. Our understanding of femininity has evolved quite a bit. It has gone beyond just a marker of gender or even identity. And it has clearly gone past and beyond just describing gentleness to the much discussed way of like the strength and tenacity of women in today's world. So I think if you ask me personally, I feel that both the weakness and strength coincide in the feminine. There's really no one statement or one sentence or even a paragraph that can clearly or accurately describe what femininity is today. So I think the most sure way is to actually understand real femininity when we listen to real stories and understand and read into everybody's journey. So here in my hand, I actually have a series of real sharings and real stories from the audience. Thank you very much for sharing the stories with me. I might not have time to finish all, but I'll try as much as I can. So I hope that all of us here can listen to all these sharings with an open heart and an open mind. I shall start with my own sharing. The weakest I've ever felt in my life was probably the 6 years that I was in an abusive relationship. Whether we are at home or when we are outdoors, the abuse never stopped. There were countless number of strangers coming up to me, giving me their name cards, really wanting to help because they witnessed the abuse that happened. At that point, I felt really weak. Not because of the amount of beatings I got, but because I keep finding excuses over and over again each time it happened. And most of the time, I blamed myself for it. So now for my strongest. My strongest phase probably is about slightly less than 10 years or over 10 years ago. I got retrenched, and of course I was devastated, I was angry, but instead of letting all this defeat and self-pity get into me, I decided to start a business. That moment was when I finally got my dignity back, my confidence back, and also my freedom. But the irony of life, right? So right at that moment, I actually got offered a job immediately after that can pay me double of what I used to get. I thought about it and I chose to walk away, and I chose to focus on Stolen. That decision was the most liberating decision I've ever made in my life. So, this starting here is sharings from the audience. The strongest moment. When I overcome the problems I faced while I was alone in the States, I realized that life is mostly a journey with yourself. Whoever you're with at that moment, never hand in the control of your life to them. By then, you are a truly free soul. Next sharing. The strongest moment in my life would definitely be a period in my life that I had to stay strong for my family and my sister. My sister was going through an alcoholic and drug phase. When my family found out, I think my mom took it the hardest. And despite me going through depression, I had to fight past it for them as well as for my sister. Next sharing. My weakest is definitely when I went through my divorce. Since young, I am very well pampered and loved by my parents. Then my life suddenly took a turn. Affairs started, abuse started. Took me 4 years before I had the courage to get the divorce. My kids were only 6 and 5 then. He took all my money, left us with nothing. Although I was a senior VP at a big international bank then, it didn't matter. I lost my house and my car. I was crying every single night for myself and my kids. I was so down and completely lost. From the same person, but now her strongest. My strongest was when I decided to remarry. After an abusive marriage, it took me a lot of faith, strength, and courage to trust someone again with my life and my 2 kids. It wasn't easy. I was broken inside, but it took me some time to realize that. I couldn't trust, never had faith, and I was extremely insecure and doubted that my new partner really loved me. And then it's like God put that spark of light in me again. I woke up one day and just started believing in love, in myself and in my new partner. As I walked down the aisle, there's still a part of me that's telling me to turn back. But I believed in love, and I walked towards the most loving husband. Today, we have 5 kids and a great marriage. Next sharing. To walk away from a toxic work environment, even though I had nothing to fall back on. And to find my own path, to set up my own workplace, working with the principle that I believe in. Next sharing. My strongest moment was when I decided to call off my wedding with my ex-fiancé just 3 to 4 months before it happened. I stood up for my own happiness and didn't go through with it just because I had to, or that was what expected from me. I did not bother with what other people thought of me either. When I felt the weight being lifted off my shoulders, I knew instantly that I made the right decision for myself. Next, sharing. The strongest moment in my life would have to be when my grandpa passed on late last year. He was the rock of our family, the main pillar of emotional support. When he left, I had to step up and become emotionally and mentally stronger for my family. I'm also the only child and daughter, hence it was harder. I believe that this marks my strongest moment because I had to stay strong throughout despite all the pain and sadness that I was going through in my heart and also for the people around me. Next, sharing. An emotional breakdown in the past 2 years. And thanks to COVID, learning to treasure the meaningful moment in life. Next, sharing. The weakest moment for me was definitely when my family found out that my dad had pancreas cancer. I could not focus on my work. I could not focus on my children. I could not focus on being a responsible wife, mother, nor daughter. That was when I felt like I failed in every single role in my life, all at the same time. It was unbearable, and I would not wish that upon anyone. And the strongest moment in my life is to be a single mother for my 17 years old, to play the role of both the father and the mother. everyone. Thank you very much for listening to all the stories. And thank you very, very much for trusting me with all your stories, ladies. Well, strengths or weaknesses. After hearing all these sharings, it becomes quite obvious to me that there is no clear line. In most cases, it actually is one and both at the same time. So, femininity, I guess no matter what gender you are, I think it's about living every day with a bit more humility. So, I think this is femininity today. Thank you very much.
I'm Ling, I'm a product designer and I'm the founder of Lingwoo. So I love traveling, I love to go to different places, and when I go to those places, I love to look at antique stores and flea markets. I think things that are made a long time ago, like antique pieces, I usually drew a lot of inspiration from there, especially when designing all these pieces for RISIS. I always wanted to be a jewelry designer, so with RISIS X Lingwu, I'm able to realize my secret dreams. So my design inspiration and concept is based around old Victorian watches and compasses. I love luscious gold and black enamel. I think the pairings made the pieces very rich and yet very understated, which sits perfectly with Lingwu brand. This collection consists of 2 necklaces and a cocktail ring. It is very simple but yet very striking. The long necklace is inspired by the compass, while the short necklace is inspired by the Victorian pocket watch. I've also designed a cocktail ring which goes perfectly with both necklaces. The team at RISIS were very supportive in every stages, from design to sampling to the finished pieces. There were a few things we need to adjust to get to a point that we both agreed on function and aesthetic. Developing product is my passion, and to work alongside and to be supported by RISIS, a heritage brand founded in 1976, was a pleasure. Very honored to be in this project.
I'm Sylvia, and I'm the founder and designer for Triology, and we are now at the Emporium. I love storytelling. I love to tell an old story and make it new, make it contemporary, and a lot of you can see them in my work. So a lot of it was taking a part of the Singapore culture or heritage, and I made it a new print or a new design. Very excited about collaborating with a jewelry brand. I'm very excited about collaborating with RISIS. This is our first time. And fashion is about a lifestyle, and it's very important that bringing various categories together, jewelry and clothing and jewelry, and it's really completes the lifestyle and completes the story. So the different mediums that I'm able to use was very exciting, because most of my prints are flat, are 2D, so on fabric, but now you see that jumping out and wearing them on the 3D. So that is a first for us, and that is a totally different medium, and we're very excited. So we created 3 different designs for our collaboration. We did a statement ring, we did the chain, we did a necklace, as well as we did the croissants, versatile. This pendant that you see here can be turned into a brooch. So the 5 rings depicted on the chain actually depict the 5 values of Singapore. So I'm designing a Singapore range. All the croissants that you see can be detached and turned into brooches.
Hi, I am Lai Chan, and I'm a fashion designer here in Singapore. So when I was inspired by these orchids, this brand RISIS, I thought it was interesting because it was something that I remember since I was a kid, and I love them very much. I said, yeah, why not? So I started thinking of what I want to do, and then I thought it should be a very dramatic dress kind of thing, things that you never see before. So I decided that I want to choose the very, very pretty orchids that you see, and especially when it's done in gold. And with 100 of these orchids there in the whole dress, I can just sprinkle them all over the whole dress. On the beginning of the dress here, I started in diagonal lines here so that it looks as if it's on a fence, and then these orchids are growing naturally. The bracelets there over there, like as if the same collection there. And then from there you can also see like rings of orchids, not just one, but maybe two, and there'll be some pearls over there, as if like you see butterflies flying around, happy to pick up the orchids in the gardens. It is a new glamour that you can see that is very dramatic. At the same time, it is very, very discreet as well. Very classy, I think. I like to think of how I can help push further and then redesign the new orchids, the new RISIS, the new Lai Chan all together.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. We've come to the end of the presentation. I'd like to invite Ms. Vereen Ng to come to the front with us, and also the designers that have made this entire collaboration and the revitalization of the iconic orchids possible. Lai Chan, Sylvia, Eileen, Liu, come, let's come to the front. And Vereen will share a token of appreciation with all of you for all the hard work that you've put into this. Have the iconic orchids, which are much more sustainable and long-lasting. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us.